Here's the #1 reason why your generator won't start. It's your fuel. If you leave the fuel sitting in these machines for more than 3 to 6 months, it's not going to run. And if it does run, it's going to run like crap. It's not going to run full open. It's going to bog down and die. So today I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do when you come across a machine that's not running. First thing you want to do is you want to get a spark plug tester. That's the first thing you want to do. Okay, now the chances of this thing putting out no spark are pretty slim in my day-to-day experiences in this. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come over here to your spark plug wire, pull it, install your spark tester like so, and then connect it to your spark plug. Now what you want to do is you want to monitor this, pull the cord, and see if the light flashes. All right, I'm going to pull the cord and see if the light flashes. So this machine has plenty of spark to start. It's looking like a fuel issue. So let's go ahead and get a fuel sample. Pull that out of there. The fuel doesn't look too bad. All right, but regardless, we got to empty out this fuel. So this is how I do it. I'll take something like this. You can run to Harbor Freight, pick up one of these, real cheap. They usually fit right in the hole. Turn it on and get this fuel out of here. Again, the customer says that this fuel has been in here for 7 months. I don't know about 7 months. We don't know. We don't know the story, guys. All we know is the machine doesn't want to start. So, best practice, get the fuel out of it, put some new fuel, clean the carburetor, go from there. It looks like we're nearing the end. Yep. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, so let's access our carburetor, shall we? So first thing you're going to do is take the cover off. Take your cover off. Done. First thing you're going to do, pop this little guy off. Remember how it goes. It goes like that. We're going to take our two 10mm nuts out of that. Go ahead, take that out. There's one. And there's another one in the back. The one in the back is an 8. You know, why wouldn't they just make them both 10s? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Not a soul. So dumb. So this one's a 10 mil. The one on the bottom's an 8. So stupid. And then we have another 10 right here on the side. Got one more 10 right here in the back. And this plate should come right off. There it is. Now we got a little hose up here. Just wiggle that on out. Got another little hose on the side. Go ahead. Just wiggle that on out. All right, cool. This is our carburetor. Here's our fuel line. This is our fuel line. And here is our propane line right there. So we're going to disconnect those two lines, and then we're going to slide the carburetor right out of the machine. Now, because we already drained the fuel, there's most likely going to be no fuel there to begin with. So go ahead, wiggle that on off. Wow. All right, so now we got that out. Let's go ahead and remove our linkage. So basically, all you're really gonna do now is just slide this forward a little bit, okay? So remove our gasket, just be aware of how that's orientated. Make sure it goes back the same way. Don't put it back like this, okay? Don't do something stupid. Can't believe I even have to say that. Now we're gonna remove our linkage just by moving that forward and then just lifting this up. See how I lifted that up? Now go ahead, do the same thing to the other little one. There's two. Very good. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to back off the screw that's holding the hose to the carburetor itself. Okay. All right, so got the hose off. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the entire carburetor off. One piece. There it is, one shot. All right, so we're gonna take our two screws off, get this completely separated from, and of course, why would they use Allens? Why would they use an Allen? Like, what kind of stupid shit is this? An Allen, really? An Allen. Why would you use an Allen? That is the most stupidest shit. You can't just put a regular Phillips screw, huh? You have to be a stupid Allen. Man, I tell you, man, the people who manufacture this shit are a bunch of idiots. Straight up. All right, there's our two stupid Allen screws. Now, just be aware about that little gasket right there. Sometimes they stay on this piece, and sometimes they stay on here, and then when you go to take the bowl off, it'll fall off, you'll lose it. So don't lose it. If you want, go ahead, pull it on out of there. And you can see how it's recessed. Very good. Now we have our carburetor. Let's get to opening this, shall we? So, first order of business, go ahead, remove that fastener. It's probably going to be a 14 millimeter. Yes, it's a 14. Sometimes these things are on there real good, so go ahead and lay it down. Lay it down. Break it loose. Nothing wants to work properly for me today. Unscrew this. Piece of shit gloves. Spend all this money on gloves for what? They just deteriorate in 5 seconds. All right, so you see this? This needs to be cleaned. Every port must be cleaned. Let's open the bowl, see what's inside. A little stuff at the bottom, nothing serious. Let's check our float height. Our float height's right. That's good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull our pin, drop it in our bowl here, and now we're gonna lift our float, check our needle. Looks pretty good. Everything's looking really good. Now inside here is your tube that atomizes the gas, basically. Now we got to pull this out of here, and once we pull it out, I'm going to show you guys how to clean it. Be very careful what type of screwdriver you use. Make sure that the shank doesn't bubble out, because if you do, you'll damage the threads. So make sure you get a screwdriver that is not going to damage the threads. Once you find it, go ahead and break it loose. Boom. Broke loose. And now we're going to drop this tube right out of the carb. Boom. 2 pieces. So here's one piece, and it's blocked. I can already see it's blocked. It's blocked. So that's why this carburetor is not starting. This guy right here. See this tube? This tube has to be cleaned. All those little holes need to be cleaned with anything you can poke in there. Guitar string, torch tip cleaners. You can get torch tip cleaners online, really cheap. And now once we're done cleaning those components, we're gonna run our carb clean through all these orifices. See the brass orifices? We're gonna get those. And we are also going to get anything in here. So your propane goes right through here, gets sucked in, and then combusted. I mean, this carburetor is pretty clean. But I'm telling you, it's something so stupid. If this is blocked, or even has a little bit of film or anything, it will block this. And the machine is either not going to run right, or it's not going to run at all. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned. My mobile mechanic, saving the day again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so here's our torch tip cleaners. And this is what I like to use for this type of application. Now, just be aware that this is abrasive. You're not trying to change the specifications. All you're doing is just getting any crud out of there, opening up that passage. That's the only thing. Okay, up here, listen. Here, don't do it up there. Just go down here and clean that out. And there we go. We can see through it again. Great. All right, so that's clean. Now we're going to repeat the same process. Get that all up in there. And then go ahead and take your tool and run it through all these little holes. Every single one of these little holes. And then once you're done running everything through the little holes, you want to go ahead and check the functionality. Make sure all the carb clean is blowing through everything. Now do the same thing for the bottom. Boom. Boom. Clean. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our fuel. This is where our fuel comes in. We want to go ahead and flush that out as well. Make sure it's coming out the other end. There it is. There it is. Good. Now, do it the other way. See? it goes. Now we're gonna do our other passages. Ah, right in the face. There it goes. Same thing, other side. Good. And now we're gonna reassemble. So go ahead. Actually, before we reassemble, just wash this needle down. Wash it down. It's pretty clean, so. And again, you don't wanna scratch or scrub off that black coating. Don't do that. And if you're asking why don't do that, what happens is you let too much fuel in. Okay. Go ahead, grab our pin. Put that back in. Sometimes these pins are stupid and they go in one way. There it is, you see? Boom. Check the operation. Make sure that's good. Good, 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 good. All right, we're doing great. Now, let's go ahead. Drop our tube first. Okay, and then we're gonna drop this bad guy in there. That's a jet, it's called a jet. And again, you don't need to over crank this, just snug. All right, give it a little twist and that's it. Don't over crank it. Now go ahead, put our bowl back on. All right, and I'm gonna put this all back together and then we're gonna fire it up and we're gonna see what happens. Oh, I almost forgot. We gotta flush this out too. This is the bolt that holds the bowl. And you see these little passages? They need to be ran through as well, like some of your sisters. All right. But again, before you go and spray, it's probably best to go ahead and run your torch tip cleaners through this. Just like that. Run it through. Okay. We'll get it lined up in a second. All right, very good. Let's get this all back together and then we'll start it up. Moment of truth. We just put fuel in it. We just put it all back together and we're gonna give it a pull. All right, so we pulled it. Now we're gonna put full throttle, and there it is. Now the machine's up and running, and that's how you fix it, guys. If you like more content like this, like, follow, share.